Welcome to SchezzWho, Hampton Roads' top spot for politics. Of course, that's true only in so much of that which helps this channel along. And I'm going to begin with the founder, Miss Andrea Dixon, my lovely wife, who works in workforce development with the state of Virginia. Her brain started this channel, and I need to continue it. And with your help, you guys can help me continue it and be great with great political content. Also want to help out Miss Allen, who owns Allen's Homestyle and Barbecue Express, Portsmouth Boulevard there in Portsmouth, and across from Regent University in Virginia Beach. Go out to Allen's Homestyle and Barbecue Express for some great dinner. Also, my good friend Mr. Seiko Varner at Positive Vibes Incorporated. Look at all he's able to help you out with financially. And also, he founded the Hampton Roads Green Book, which is a great app to help you find Black and Brown owned businesses in Hampton Roads. I also want to shout out Mr. Farley Perkins, an insurance broker with his contact information right there. He can help you out with your insurance needs. And ELG Suite Boutique here in Portsmouth on 340 High Street, a great business for confection-based sweets here in Portsmouth. Now, be on the lookout for great Hampton Roads content as well. I'm going to go over the 757 election numbers too. Looking forward to bringing you a breakdown on that. Also, I'm in talks to bring incumbent and re-elected Mayor Bobby Dyer from Virginia Beach onto the show, and newly elected Portsmouth Councilman Bill Dodson is to come in the show tomorrow, the afternoon time, in order to discuss what happened with his race and his vision for Portsmouth. But more on this presidential election. Harris and the rest of the Democrats are still trying to digest this big, fat L. Democratic National Committee member Lindy Lee called it a $1 billion disaster. Definitely remember the Harris campaign was donated to by more billionaires than Donald Trump. 83 billionaires donated to Harris, compared to 52 for Donald Trump. And yes, billionaires shouldn't be donating so much. Billionaires shouldn't exist, but here we are. I just listened to Carlos Miller on Club Shay Shay's podcast. Point of fact. That interview came out 3 days ago, and it has 1.1 million views. Kamala Harris's interview on Club Shay Shay has 1.6 million views, and that was 12 days ago. That might say a thing or two about VP Harris's popularity, but here's a line that Carlos Miller said that struck with me. A lot of people won't accept that the type of person that they're attracted to don't even like them. It's a cold world, he said. Well, let's play that out into politics. The Democratic Party is incredibly attracted to the white population. It makes sense. Whites are the largest voting bloc in the country. The white population doesn't like the Democratic Party. What do I mean by that? According to the Associated Press, 39% of the white male population voted Kamala Harris. 60% voted Donald Trump. 46% of white women voted Harris. 53% voted Trump. I'll circle back to the Democratic Party. The Democrats won't accept that the white voting population don't even like them. I naturally thought that they'd probably picked up the white population's vote in 2008, with a great financial recession, and in 2020 with a great recession and a pandemic then too. After all, those were huge turnouts and huge Democrat wins, both in the popular vote and the Electoral College. But in 2008, the white breakdown of the electorate was 43% for Barack Obama and 55% for John McCain. In 2020, 41% of whites went to Joe Biden, 58% went to Trump. In 2024, as of right now, 43% of whites voted for Harris, 56% voted for Trump. So I see a lot of black friends of mine upset at the theatrics of a lot of white folks post-election, namely women, critiquing claims to march again, or those little blue bracelet things that are supposed to mark some sort of solidarity. The criticism isn't that they need marches or bracelets. It's that they need more white votes. And election after election, it doesn't happen. The time I made my previous comments on the election, it was the next day after the election. It was Wednesday night. At the time I made the show, I didn't know that it notoriously takes states like California a weirdly long time to count all their votes. And hey, the current numbers are different than Wednesday's show. Back then, Trump had about 72.4 million total popular votes, and Kamala Harris had 68 million. As of a search now of the popular vote, and now is Saturday evening on November 9th. Trump has 74.3 million popular votes, which, big whoop. That's about 100,000 more than 2020. Really, woohoo. Harris is at 70.04 million. So she is now eclipsed the Hillary totals and all of the Obama election totals, too. Also, big whoop. This country adds nearly 1 million people a year in population. Over 4 years, you need to be adding millions to your totals just to maintain where you were at. And Biden had 81.2 million in 2020. And Harris is chasing him right now by 11.2 million votes. Trump maintained his. So what happened to cause the party's fall? Is it the fact that she's a woman? Is it the fact that she's black? Is it her messaging? Is it the economy behind her? I think much like to win, you need a coalition of groups to come together to vote for you. To lose, you also need a coalition of different reasons. Add all that together, and she loses by over 10 million votes compared to old-ass Joe Biden. And I was one of those Joe Biden votes in 2020. I was a Chase Oliver vote in 2024. My reasoning is easy. She didn't provide enough difference between Biden on their genocidal stance. I straight up told a friend of mine, had him on the show, about why I vote Kamala Harris back before the election, that if they change their messaging and policy plan on Gaza and Israel, I would vote for Harris. I've abandoned beliefs on things like student debt cancellation and Medicare for all and great domestic economic agendas before in order to vote for Biden, because I experienced Donald Trump, and Trump was bad, and Biden had some notable things like the Inflation Reduction Act and the CHIPS Act and so on labor policy, but he abandoned plans on a public option, and he absolutely shit the bed on student loan debt. He had so much power to do something and just decided to not do it the way he could have, often hiding behind Joe Manchin or the Senate parliamentarian. But funding and arming and rhetorically supporting a genocide of Palestinians, actively trying to outflank Donald Trump and the Republicans on the border by wanting to fund more of his wall, ending asylum and spending billions more on border security and deportation. Fuck no. And Democrats should be ashamed that they made us try to accept that in order to vote for Harris. That's just from a young white dude who voted Joe Biden before. I'm a former Republican voter. I moved libertarian and Democrat as my worldview shift. Don't try to force me back to the right wing. Harris easily could have been voted for if the foreign policy and immigration policy was more human. In my next videos, I'll try to give more opinions from friends of mine that I've seen on why she lost, because I need Democrats to absorb all of that and internalize it as we go into this battle with Donald Trump the next 4 years. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to SchezzWho, and we can really grow this content because it all helps us.